They shall no more offer their sacrifices to demons. You mean the Israelites were involved in demonic or satanic devil worship? Yes. It goes on to say, after whom they have played the harlot. This shall be a statute forever for them throughout their generations. Also, verse 8, you shall say to them, whatever man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who dwell among you, who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, and does not bring it to the door of the tabernacle of meeting to offer it to the Lord, that man shall be cut off from among his people. Again, this is how I want to be worshiped. This is the way I want to be worshiped. This is where I want to be worshiped. And I will forbid you from continuing to worship demons as you have heretofore. You bring it to the tabernacle. You bring the sacrifice to the Lord. It has to come to and through the high priest. And you're going to stop worshiping demons. Or if you continue to worship in the way that the Egyptians worshipped, you will be cut off from your people. Verse 10. And whatever man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who dwell among you, who eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. And I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that makes atonement for the soul. Therefore, verse 12, I said to the children of Israel, no one among you shall eat blood, nor shall any stranger who dwells among you eat blood. Whatever man of the children of Israel, or of the strangers who dwell among you, who hurts and catches any animal or bird that may be eaten, he shall pour out its blood and cover it with dust. Verse 14, for it is the life of all flesh. Its blood sustains its life. Therefore, I said to the children of Israel, you shall not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Whoever eats it shall be cut off. And, verse 15, every person who eats what died naturally or what was torn by beasts, whether he is a native of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Then he shall be clean, but, verse 16, if he does not wash them or bathe his body, then he shall bear his guilt. And that's the end of the chapter. Let's close in prayer. Aren't you glad you came to Bible study tonight? What a great chapter. I know you can't wait to go and write one of these verses and put it up on your refrigerator as a life verse. I mean, what in the world? What could this possibly mean to me? How does this chapter apply to me? Well, I'm so glad you asked. The Lord is addressing the pagan practices of the people because they were involved in certain satanic rituals. Well, Pastor, you're talking to the church here. We're believers. Surely that's not what we're doing. Really? You may not be drinking blood, are you? But you might be offering sacrifices of pagans to demons. Possibly. The fact of the matter is that Satan worship is very much alive in our day today. Now, it may not come in the form of a golden calf, but it could come in the form of a platinum album. Let me explain. This is why I wanted to get only this chapter tonight. The last time I taught through the book of Leviticus, I took 17 and 18 together, but I really sensed that the Lord had a word tonight that He wanted spoken. Lucifer was one of 3 archangels. When he was cast out of heaven, that's why 1/3 of the angels angels were cast out with him, because each of these archangels, Lucifer, Gabriel, and Michael, each had a third of the angels under them as archangels. Now, it's believed that you had a messianic angel, you had a militant angel, as he's called, and then you had the musical angel. It's been said that Lucifer was the worship leader of heaven. He was the angel of the harp, or the angel of music. Consider what the prophet Isaiah said when speaking of him in the 14th chapter, verse 11 through 15. Your pomp, speaking of Lucifer, is brought down to Sheol, and the sound of your stringed instruments, your stringed instruments, Lucifer, the maggot is spread under you, and worms cover you. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit. See, what happened was Lucifer, as the worship leader, became proud. And he exalted himself. And he wanted the worship for himself. Satan, from the beginning, has always desired to be worshipped. And he does get his worship. Now, here on earth, when he was cast down to the earth, Ezekiel 28:13 says, you were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardius, topaz, and diamond, beryl, onyx, and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald with gold. The workmanship of your timbrels and pipes, musical instruments, was prepared for you on the day you were created. Because, Lucifer, you were created to worship. I'm about to make a statement that I'm sure maybe most, I hope, if not all of you are familiar with, but do you realize that you and I were created to worship God? Do you realize that when we're with Him for all eternity, you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be worshiping Him for all eternity. My goodness, are we ever going to get tired? No way. The creations are before the throne day and night, singing, worshiping Him. Worthy, worthy, worthy. He's going to be worshiped. We're going to worship Him. He created us to worship Him. I'm going to take it a step further. You and I have to worship. We have to, because that's how we are wired. That's how our Creator created us. He created us to worship. You're all familiar with that Bob Dylan song. You got to serve somebody. It's either it's either God or it's the devil. But you've got to worship somebody. You're either going to be worshiping God or you're going to be worshiping the devil, but you're not going to be worshiping both. You cannot. You cannot serve two masters. You'll either serve the one and hate the other. But you cannot. Jesus did not say you should not. It's a good idea if you did not. No, He said you cannot. It is an impossibility. It's either one or the other. See, so we were created to worship Him. And one of the ways that we express His worthship, which is where we get the word worship, worthy-ship, He is worthy of our worthy-ship, worth-ship, you see. One of the ways that we do that is through music. What we just did here before the study tonight, we worshiped Him using music. Now, there's a problem.